After looking around for a while in the WordPress theme directory, I found a theme that I want to go with, and it's called Librio. And let me go ahead and look through this theme and explain to you why I chose this one. So I'm going to click on Preview here. And here's the basic theme. It's nothing really fancy. It's kind of simple. It's very clean looking, and I like that. But there are a few different things here that really made this one stand out to me, and it's nothing about the way it looks as much as the way that it's structured. The way it's structured is it has two columns. That's the first thing I was looking for. I wanted a two-column theme. The second thing that I was really looking for is a theme that had a background that went around the edges of the entire site. In other words, we have this big container here that contains this white section, this blue section on the right sidebar, this kind of bluish purple section at the top. But behind that, it has a completely different colored background, a darker background. And that's one of the elements that I wanted to put in my WordPress site. I wanted to have some kind of different background, maybe something textured or something like that, so that the main content would stand out a little bit. And that was just one thing that I was looking for in a theme. And so this theme really fits the bill when it comes to that. Another thing that I really like about this particular theme is that it's going to be really easy to edit. One thing I usually do when I'm looking through themes is I take a look at how it's constructed. For example, if we wanted to take a look at how this header is constructed, in case we wanted to change the image to something else, maybe we wanted a different colored gradient here or something like that, so we could pull that background image into Photoshop and change it. Well, one thing we can do is if we're using Firefox, which I highly suggest when you're working with WordPress themes, and the reason I suggest that is because it has some really cool tools that you can use with it, which we'll talk about a little bit later. But if you're using Firefox, you can right-click on any part of the website that has a background image to it, and you can click on View Background Image, and it will basically open that on a new page. And this is what that background image looks like. And as we can see, this is just a very, very simple image, and it's an image that has the rounded corners on it, and then it has the gradient covering the rest of the image. Now, in other themes and things like that, you might have it constructed a little bit differently. If we go back, you might have one little image that takes up the far left-hand side that covers the little rounded corner here. Then you might have a second image that's just basically 1 or 2 pixels wide, that comprises the center here that stretches all the way across or repeats itself all the way across so that it looks just like one image. And then it might have a third image over here on the right that covers the rounded corner over here on the right. However, this one, again, if we check that out, it's just one continuous image. So that's going to be something that's really easy to edit in Photoshop. We don't even have to open up 3 different images. We can open up this one image and edit that. And we can make it taller, we can change the colors, things like that. If we make it taller, we're going to have to change some things in the website's code as well, so keep that in mind. So let's go back. There's also a background image here for this little subheader that has our menu items on it. And those menu items are another big reason that I really liked this theme, because I really want the users to be able to see where our different pages are. Now, some WordPress websites, you might not really care about pages. You might not even create any pages for your weblog. You might just want it to be strictly a weblog. And if that's the case, then you don't really care much about these menu items. You can just, if you decide to create any pages, maybe they'll show up over here on the right in the sidebar, but you don't really care about them. However, for this particular website, I want my users to be able to see those pages very clearly, and we're going to do some different things with pages. So I picked a theme that had, these page options up here at the top in something that looks like a menu, so that would be very easy for the user to see. But we can right-click on this menu bar and click on View Background Image. And here, this is just a very simple, looks like about 10 or 15 pixels wide, that just takes care of all the colors in that menu bar. And basically what it does is it repeats itself over and over again. So if we go back to our website, this is basically just one small image that repeats itself over and over again, going from left to right. So that's going to be very simple to edit as well. Over here on the right, it's probably a background image as well. If we right click on that, View Background Image, sure enough, this is actually just 1 pixel tall. So it's just a background image that's 1 pixel tall and is repeated over and over again. And then down here at the bottom, we can right click on that, View Background Image, and we see this is just one very wide image that takes up the whole width of our website. So this is going to be very easy to edit, to make changes to, things like that. Even if we want to change the width of the website, that's not going to be too difficult to do. So this is a very simple theme. It might not look perfect. In fact, it might not even have any of the colors that we want at all, but it's structured in a way that's going to make this very easy to edit. And its structure is similar to what I'm looking for in the final structure of our weblog. Now let me go ahead and point out that if we hit the back arrow here, this WordPress theme directory is not the only place that you can go to find WordPress themes. If we open up a new tab here, and let's do a search for WordPress themes, you'll notice that there are 22 million results for WordPress themes in Google. So you're not going to have any problem finding themes online. Now there are two different kinds of themes. There are free themes and there are themes you have to pay for. A lot of the times the themes you have to pay for are going to be a lot nicer. But they're also going to be, they're going to cost a little bit. Some of them might just be, 10 or 20 bucks. Some of them might be a couple $100, just depending on who created it, how nice it is, how many options it has, because some different themes have different options available to you. Generally, the free themes are the ones you're going to want to use if you're just going to change the whole look and feel of it anyways, like we're doing here. Generally, if you're going to go for a paid theme, you're going to find a theme that already looks exactly like what you want it to look like, and then you'll download it and install it and just use it. So usually you won't be using paid themes if you're actually going to go in and do all of these, make all these changes to it anyway. But I just wanted you to know that there are other WordPress themes out there. They're all over the place. There's a website called WP ThemeSpot. If we go to that website, we'll see a website just full of WordPress themes. So I want to encourage you to do a search for themes online. If you don't find something you want in the WordPress theme directory, then do a search for WordPress themes on Google, and you should find plenty of options out there for free themes. Now, if you want something that's completely built, that looks really nice, that looks really professional, then you could look for one of those paid WordPress themes, and it'll probably be well worth your money if you don't want to spend all that time tweaking the theme and making it look like what you want it to look like. But if you really want to work on tweaking it, then don't worry about those expensive themes. Just find a free one and then make the changes that you want. Okay, so let's close that. And let's talk about how we can install this theme. We found the theme that we wanted. We're just going to click on download, and we'll save it. It saves it, and I have these saving to my desktop. On my desktop, I'll find the zip file that was downloaded. And if I double click on that zip file, it was a little bit off the screen so you couldn't see it, but if we double click on that zip file, it opens it up, and it's just inside that zip file is a folder called Librio. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to extract all files, and make sure that you pay attention where you're extracting these files to. And if you're using Windows, then you have this option to show extracted files once they're extracted, so that'll basically just open up a new window with those files in it. So we can close this other. So here is where our plugin or our theme is located, and if we double click on it, we can just see all the different PHP files, and in the images folder we can see all the images and things like that. Okay, so basically what we want to do is we want to upload this Librio folder into our WordPress themes directory. Now let me show you where that is. I'm going to open up my FTP program. And I don't know how you upload files to your site. I use FTP. You might use your website host admin file manager or something like that. So I'm going to connect to learn001.com. Once that's connected, we can see all of our WordPress files here, and I've installed WordPress in the main directory of this particular domain, in the main directory of learn001.com. So by default, if you go to learn001.com, it's going to come to the default page of the actual WordPress site, or the WordPress blog. And right now that's located here in index.php. Now you might have your WordPress installed in a particular folder within your website, which is fine. If you don't want your WordPress weblog to be the main page of your site, you might have installed it in a folder, and then you would go into that folder to find your WordPress content. But once you go into that folder, there should be a folder called WP Content. If we double click to go into there, there should be a folder called Themes. So we're going to open up that Themes folder, and all we have to do to install our theme is to upload our theme folder into this folder. So in our desktop, we have this theme file called librio.1.0. If we click on that, or double click on that, inside that we have our Librio folder. Now what we're looking for is the folder that contains all of the files. We don't want to upload this librio.1.0 because inside that is another folder that's sitting by itself. But inside this Librio folder, if we double click on it, inside that are all of our files, all of our PHP files and things like that for that particular theme. So we want to upload that folder. So let's upload this Librio folder into our themes directory. And if you're confused about what folder needs to be uploaded, then most themes that you download will have a little README file, readme.txt or something like that, and you can read the details of that file, and it will tell you exactly what you need to upload and where you need to upload it. But we've uploaded that to our WordPress directory, or to our WP content directory within our WordPress directory. And now, if we go back to our site admin, I'll go to learn001.com/WP admin. And then I'm going to go to Design. You'll notice that we now have 3 themes available to us. And to install this Librio theme, all we need to do is to click on it, and that will give us a preview of it. And if that's the theme we want to go with, we just click up here on Activate Librio. So let's click on that. We've installed the theme, we've activated the theme. Now all we need to do is to visit our site. So we'll click on Visit Site. And there we go. We have all the same content that we had before. We have all the same posts, all the same pages, the same title. We have everything that we had before, except now it's all within this new theme. So that's the first step that we've taken in customizing our WordPress weblog.